Drishat today, mentored by Mrs. Ball, Arielle Walder.
Every person is a book. Their life is the story. Every struggle and every accomplishment is a chapter. For most people, the title that is posted on the cover is not an accurate representation of the story that lies within the pages of their book. If you looked at me today, what would you think? If you don't know me at all, you would probably just see an average 18-year-old girl. If you are friendly with me, you probably see an average 18-year-old girl with a crazy personality who moved here junior year from Chicago and did a pretty decent job finding her way. If you're my friend, you probably see all that, but also know that it wasn't as easy as people think. If you are one of my best friends, you probably see all that, but knows that it's still hard to accept the fact that this move happened and that it was necessary to start over and reinvent myself. If you are a family member, you see all that. And you know this, but you also know the real story, the one within the pages, and that the person I am today is a product of the events that took place throughout my life. Every story has conflicts, but it is the ability to overcome those conflicts that makes the story worth reading. I was born and raised in Highland Park, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. I was a sophomore when I found out I was going to be moving, and by that time, my life was going great. But unfortunately, things weren't always this way. From the time I was in from the time I was in kindergarten to the time I was nearing my 8th grade graduation, my life consisted of a series of struggles. I was a normal and healthy kid until I discovered how good chicken nuggets tasted. From that point on, the food I was eating became like a drug to me, a drug I was addicted to and couldn't live without. I began to gain weight like crazy, and not only did it affect the way I looked, it also affected my health, academics, social life, and just about everything else. I was harassed for years for the way I looked, even though no one really got the chance to know me. To this day, I can still hear the sound. I can still hear the sound of my classmates' voices in my head, singing, "Nobody likes you, everybody hates you, everyone goes out without you." For years, I let food and my peers control me, and I allowed my life to get worse. I was so insecure, and I didn't feel like I had the power to change because I let everyone write my story, telling me I wasn't good enough. But after 7 years of misery, I decided it was time to get my story back. Over the course of 6 months, I lost 70 pounds, became part of a friend group, joined the cross-country team, and started doing a lot better in school. It seemed like everything in my life was finally coming together, and I was on top of the world. Until halfway through my sophomore year, when my parents sat us down and told us that we were going to be moving to California after the school year ended. At that moment, I felt my whole world shattered, and I had no idea how I was going to start all over again. I didn't come to California on 2 feet. I came in on one wobbling foot with my stable foot back home. I started at Calabasas High School and lasted 3 days before telling my parents. That they had to let me transfer or I was going to pack all my stuff in my car and drive the 2,050 miles back to Chicago. My mom found Eugene from a friend, and by the time I could officially transfer, I had to start a few days late. Compared to Calabasas, Nuju was like a heaven for me because the teachers actually knew my situation, and the students didn't stare at me like I'm some type of alien or bump into me like I'm invisible. However, despite the friendly students and faculty, I still didn't feel like I fully belonged. When it came time for the South trip, I let a few friends convince me to go, despite my fear of being miserable and stuck in a different state. However, the South trip ended up being one of the best experiences that I could have had. During that week, I finally felt comfortable enough to break out of my shell and be the real me around my peers. Although people thought I was crazy because of my loud and aggressive personality, I could feel myself being accepted, and that was a feeling I had longed for since I had first stepped foot in California. This move went from being the worst thing that could have happened to one of the best things that has ever happened. I didn't think I could possibly have the ability to start over again. In most stories, the main character's fears and insecurities are the main factors that prolong the overcoming of conflict. The fear of reliving my traumatizing childhood held me back from being myself from the start. My only regret is waiting until March to break out of my shell, because once I stopped being scared and started being confident in who I am, things got so much better. For years, I let others be in control of my life. I let people who wanted to watch me fail cause me to fail. I let others convince me I wasn't good enough, so I never felt like I was. But once I started being able to be in control of myself, my thoughts, and my story, I was able to rise above everything holding me back and become the best version of myself. We live in a society where people can be mean. They put others down to hide their own insecurities and make themselves seem more powerful. In my portion, King David got a married woman pregnant and then arranged for her husband to be killed so that he could be with her. I interpreted this incident as David allowing his insecurities to cause him to hurt others. If he was really secure with himself and what he had to offer, why would he need to get another man killed? Today, the issue of social media and technological advancements have made the issue of bullying worse because people no longer need to hurt people face to face. They can do it a variety of other ways, all while hidden behind a screen. Whether it's been online, face-to-face, physical, emotional, or verbal, I'm pretty sure everyone has been a victim of it, some more than others, but everyone knows how it feels to be picked on and torn down when all they wanted is acceptance. While we have all been victims, we have also all been offenders, whether we want to believe it or not. Everyone is guilty of hurting others. It is human nature, and we are all human. We make mistakes. As a result of King David's actions, God killed his son as a punishment, which caused him more pain than his insecurities were bringing him. However, he and his wife ended up having another son, who then became a great and powerful king. If a person has hurt you and wants to make amends, be open to it. Because if you give people a second chance, you would be surprised at how well things could turn out. The girls that bullied me all through elementary and middle school ended up being my best friends in high school, bringing so much joy to my life. And while I never forgot the pain they caused me, I learned to forgive and give them a second chance, and that is something I try to do with most people. When you are writing your story, don't put others down to make yourself feel better. Practice being kind and being an advocate for others. If someone had stood up for me just one time, it would have made all the difference. For those of you who share my story, or one similar to mine, know that you can change the plot, become your own hero, and overcome the hardest of times. Learn to accept yourself and learn to accept others, and all of their flaws too. If people can't accept you, they don't deserve to be in your life. The person I am today is a person I dreamed of being when I was younger. I have accepted myself, my strengths, and my weaknesses, and I have learned to channel my jealousy and insecurities towards bettering myself, not hurting others. As my sister always says, live in such a way that if people spoke badly about you, no one would believe it. Thank you. Walked into your class on my first day last year and got the chance to meet and talk to you. That was the first time since I moved that I felt a sense of comfort and security. You've been someone I can come to if I am overwhelmed or need advice. And you have made me feel so much more at home than I ever thought I could at a school. I enjoyed working with you these past weeks and all of last year, and I appreciate all of you have helped me with. Thank you. I told you I would never forgive you for taking me away from my friends and making me start over. But I wanted you to know that I do forgive you. I never should have been mad at you for making us move. I should have been proud. You worked hard my whole life, and even when things were hard, you never failed to provide for our family and make us your priority. Thank you for being such an amazing dad. I love you. Been by my side through everything, and I don't know what I would do without you. Every doctor's appointment, every time I needed to cry, every time I was me, you were always there to pick up the pieces. I know we didn't always get along as well as we do now, but the relationship we have now is one I wouldn't trade for anything. Thank you for the unconditional love and for believing in me when no one else did. My sister Sydney couldn't be here today. Even though you think I don't like you as much as Danielle, and that I don't care as much, you are wrong. I think you are one of the most amazing people I know. You are so kind, caring, and hardworking, and I hope that I end up being half the person you are. I couldn't ask for a better role model. You are one of a kind, and I am so lucky you are my sister. To my brother Eli, I know we fight a lot and that we get under each other's skin, but I want you to know how truly amazing I think you are. I know you don't always think it, but I always do. You are so sweet and cute and great at just about everything you attempt. Even when something goes wrong or gets hard, you push through and keep trying your best, and that is something I admire about you. You are growing up to be such a great boy, and I am so proud of you and everything you do. To my sister Danielle, you are the peanut butter to my rally time and my best friend. The relationship we have is one that most people wish they could have with a sibling. I know we weren't always this close, and one of my biggest regrets is not appreciating how amazing of a sister I had when I was growing up. This move was hard for us both, but I don't know if I would have been able to do it without you. You are exactly what I think everyone your age should be like. You are so selfless and compassionate with your friends, family, and even strangers. You may be younger, but I look up to you in so many ways. If there was a lottery for siblings, you're my winning ticket. And although they cannot be here today, I would like to thank all my friends back in Chicago. Especially my best friend. Thank you for always being here for me and for being so amazing. And to everyone who learned to accept me when I moved here and became my friend, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be myself and learn to be happy in a new place. If I did not come to Nuju, I would have missed out on the chance to meet some pretty amazing people. My high school experience, as well as my life in general, was definitely better once I met all of you. And the class of 2016.
So, on Wednesday, next Wednesday is Veterans Day. Unfortunately, for most people, they look at it as a day off of school, off of work,